When it comes to leading a country, especially in Africa, how much should a president be paid? Well, in today's episode, we are diving into the numbers that just might shock you. Africa has incredible potential and is home to some of the world's fastest growing economies. But, for many Africans, daily life is a struggle, with millions grappling with poverty, high unemployment, and rising costs. Meanwhile, their leaders, well, they're not exactly feeling the pinch. Let's start with the big spender, Paul Biya of Cameroon. With a jaw-dropping annual salary of around $620,000, Biya is one of the highest-paid leaders in the world. But here's the kicker: Cameroon's GDP per capita is just $1,598, and over 37% of the population lives in poverty. Imagine that. Biya earns more than 300 times the average Cameroonian. Next, we have Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa, who takes home around $223,500 a year. South Africa has the highest unemployment rate on the continent, with over 34% of the population jobless. Still, Ramaphosa's salary is on par with many European leaders, like Germany's Olaf Scholz, even as millions of South Africans live below the poverty line. Then, there's King Mohammed VI of Morocco, with an annual pay of about $488,000. In a country where 19% live in poverty, the king's compensation certainly raises eyebrows. It's more than double the salary of Emmanuel Macron of France, even though Morocco's GDP per capita is just a fraction of France's. Now, let's talk about William Ruto, the new president of Kenya, who makes roughly $192,200 annually. Kenya's GDP per capita stands at $2,006, with around 36% of the population struggling with poverty. For a country with significant economic challenges, Ruto's paycheck might seem, shall we say, generous. Yoweri Museveni of Uganda and Alassane Ouattara of Côte d'Ivoire follow close behind, earning $183,000 and $100,000 annually, respectively. In Uganda, where the GDP per capita is a mere $858, Museveni's salary is over 200 times what the average citizen makes. And in Côte d'Ivoire, Ouattara earns a comfortable salary, though his nation still grapples with a 39% poverty rate. For perspective, US President Joe Biden makes $400,000 a year, but America's GDP per capita is nearly $70,000. Leaders in countries like Germany and the UK earn similar salaries, yet their nations have far lower poverty rates and stronger social safety nets. So, is it fair? African leaders are paid sums that often seem disconnected from the economic realities of their countries. Many would argue that these salaries are out of touch with the struggles of ordinary citizens. After all, if a leader's salary is funded by taxpayers, shouldn't it reflect the nation's wealth and well-being? As millions of Africans work hard just to make ends meet, perhaps it's time for leaders to align their compensation with the economic realities of their citizens. Because true leadership isn't about luxury, it's about sacrifice, service, and understanding the people's needs.